When it comes to living a great life, what is a great life for you? So many people get caught up in this weird race to make a bunch of money with no understanding of why. So if your great life requires making a bunch of money, awesome. If you genuinely enjoy work, great. If your sense of value is linked to how much money you make, that's fine too. But this concept of like, I need to make a bunch of money so that so-and-so will be proud of me, so I can keep up with the neighbors, so I can go through this, like that's not going to be a great life for you. That's going to be a constant struggle. So please, 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 if you take nothing else from anything that I say, start with this. What does a great life look like for you? And then from there, you can work back to figure out how to get to it. Every now and then, when I'm stuck in sort of a funk and not really sure what's bothering me, I go to the wheel of life. So it's a series of different things, 6, 8, 10 on a wheel. So family, friends, spirituality, social, career, etc. And then you self-rank yourself from 1 to 10 on each of them. So ultimately, like the wheel would be totally full if you were super happy with everything. Not going to be the case. So what I'll do is I'll go through this, based upon my gut on that ranking. And then I know like if I've got myself a 3 when it comes to spiritual well-being, then great. Over the next couple weeks, I need to focus on that. If you know what's wrong, just address it. But if you have this weird sort of like existential angst, the wheel of life becomes really helpful to help you get a little bit more granular on what would help you live that life that you've always wanted. If you want to live a great life, the easiest thing that I think you can do is start with the end in mind. When I wrote my obituary, there were a lot of things that were not in it. And so as I get to making these decisions on, things to do on individual cases or whatnot, I can look back and say like, well, that wasn't something in the obituary. So really the answer doesn't necessarily matter, or it's not a priority, or, something along those lines. It's really empowered me realize what's worth the extra thought process, the extra investment of time, money, and energy, because those are things I wrote about as being, memorable after I am gone. So I would really, really, really suggest if you have not done this exercise, do it. And then start figuring out how to work backwards, quarter by quarter, month by month, week by week, day by day, to get to being the person who leaves that impact in that obituary. That's how you're going to live a great life. The best advice is not business advice. It's not financial advice. It's not marriage advice. The best advice is advice that applies to everything in your life. And these same core values are ones that make me happy when I do honor them. So it's not like this weird, I have to live up to these aspirations. It's no. Like if I'm doing things that are my core values, I'm already winning. And that's why I love having core values. So when it comes to living a great life, I highly suggest take some time and check it out. Either we'll link it below or send me an email. I've got a whole newsletter on how I found them and my core values and whatnot. So happy to send that to you if you need it. Want to help more people live lives that they truly love. This is where it starts. I always tell myself 1 of 3 things are going to happen. Either 1, it's going to go well. 2, I'm going to learn something from the experience, or 3, I'm going to die. And thankfully, number 3 has not happened yet. This mindset really encompasses growth mindset. This is something that was started by Carol Dweck and then expanded upon in her book, Mindset, about having a growth mindset. Thinking through this process is really going to liberate you from a lot of decisions. You need to take that as a positive, right? Have a growth mindset. Every time you do this thing, it's an opportunity to do it better the next time. And whether that grinds you down or liberates you, that's the part that we work on. The growth mindset is going to help us enjoy the journey of getting to the point where we have the life we want. So don't beat yourself up over not having everything go perfectly. Have a growth mindset. Use this as an opportunity to learn and grow into the kind of person that you want to be. That's how you'll live a great life. We're wired to see negatives. It's a lot easier to do it. However, when it comes to living a great life, we want to rewire that into gratitude. The more that you see the world as one of abundance, the more you have gratitude for the things that you have, for the people that spend time with you, for the opportunities you were given, the happier you're going to be. All of the science on happiness supports this. But just doing that consistently makes me see so many more opportunities to share gratitude and appreciation and see the amazing opportunities that life has to offer. So if you want to live a happy life, if you want to enjoy the journey, if you want to have fun, be grateful, have gratitude, all of these things will get you closer to being the kind of person who enjoys their life and therefore lives a great life. I love the Pareto principle to having a great life. If you don't know what it is, Vilfredo Pareto came up with this idea that 80% of your profit comes from 20% of your clients. And by the same token, 80% of your complaints come from 20% of your clients. When it comes to living a great life, 80-20 is super important because you are empowering yourself to do less, to get things off of your plate. However, having the mindset of being willing to let go and not doing things because we've always done them, because you've always done them, because that's just the way things are, that's how you get the same mediocrity that you've always had. If you truly want to have the life that you love, embrace the 80-20, either cutting the bottom 20 or only doing the top 20 or even doubling it to even doing the top 40. That's how you're going to live a great life. If I really think about what I am great at, nobody's going to do it better than me. And if I focus on those things, I have the time, I have the energy, I have the money to take the things that I'm not the best at and the things that I don't want to do and the things that don't give me energy and give them to somebody else. Ideally, I'm going to give them to somebody who that is their zone of genius. So they're going to do it even better than me. So now I have taken this thing off of my plate that I hated, put it on somebody else's plate where it's their zone of genius, given them the reps for them to do it better than I ever could. So it's not 80% as good. It's 110, 120, 150% as good as I can do it. And then in that time, I can do something else that is in my zone of genius and do that 20% to get me 80% of the results that I want. It's amazing to me, but you have to keep iterating this process and going through and finding the next thing to take off your plate and who to give it to and the next person who solves the issues that you need. That's what's going to help you live a great life. Good is the enemy of great. However, just as often are the times where we let great get in the way of getting anything done. I have to be honest with you. The best way that I learn, and actually the best way that most people learn, is by doing. So there is an element and an amount of pre-planning that is required. So you have to do it. Now, do it good, do it great, do it well, but you're still going to learn. And no amount of planning is going to offset the first time that you do it, right? So don't let good get in the way of great, but don't let great get in the way of getting it done so you can learn to do it again. That's why it's really important for you to have these ideas of what that end goal looks like, what that great life looks like, what that awesome product looks like. That's how you'll know what to plan to try to do it the best, what to learn from it to do it better the next time. And ultimately, that's how you will live a great life. You can never get into the same river twice. The issue becomes that there are two ways to take this statement. Either it can be soul crushing, right? Like every moment is dead the minute it happens. Or it can be liberating, as in you can find enjoyment in the mundane because you know this moment will never happen again. I am not capable of always feeling this way, but I'm capable of making myself feel that way more frequently, or becoming the type of person who feels that way more frequently through having a growth mindset, through feedback loops, through all these things. So ultimately for me, I try to live in the moment, understanding that that's all we have and it's gone by the time we're thinking about it in a beautiful way, in as liberating a way as possible, in as nice of a way as possible. You know, having this understanding of each moment having its right amount of sacredness really helps me enjoy it as much as possible. So I hope you'll do the same and that you too will ultimately live a great life. Close connections and authentic friendships among members. That's what I want to focus on for a great life. We all have those 3, 5, 10 group of friends that we can get with and sit down and go really deep and talk about the serious stuff and have a close connection and have an authentic friendship and really like drill down on issues. So when it comes to living a great life, more quality, less quantity, less, hey, how about that weather? It's hot everywhere. More like, this is what I'm going through. I'd love your perspective. I'd love your opinion. I'd love to be there for you. Spending more time with the kind of people that we have those relationships with, and spending more time building the kind of relationship with people, because things change, right? So every new person might be an opportunity for a close connection, but really focusing on the quality of time that you spend and the quality of person you spend time with and the quality of conversation you share will really help you live a great life. Multitasking is not a thing, right? And if I was smarter, I'd be doing this video while trying to juggle and 27 other things, right? It's not a thing, yet we get caught up on this weird concept. Instead of multitasking, we should look for multi-impacts. Where can we do the same thing and have multiple impacts from it, right? If you are trying to spend more time with a friend and both of you are trying to lose weight, go to the gym together, go for a walk together. If you love trying new restaurants and you want to spend more time with your family, great, create a game about who gets to pick what new restaurant the family tries. Get the multi-impact of trying out a new hobby with referral sources you're trying to build connections with, right? Like we can do this same thing that helps us in multiple ways. Think about that versus multitasking, right? Like do one thing, do it extra well, and have it be something that helps all of the parts of your life. That's how you'll live a great life. I always love if you could go back in time, what would you tell your younger self? And there's always that one person that's like, buy Apple and then Tesla and Amazon, whatever else. Here's the honest thing that I would tell myself, right? I don't think most people wake up and say, man, I really want to screw up at work today. The issue becomes with setting expectations. Please, please, please set better expectations with people. This might be with employees about what you expect their work to look like. It might be with friends, like the 5 love languages. I love that concept from Gary Chapman about, in essence, what do these 5 things mean the most to you? So if I'm really trying to spend the time showing my love and affection for you, if you don't care about words of affirmation, I won't waste time on it. If you don't care about gift giving, I won't waste money on it, right? Like set the right expectations with the people that you truly care about, and it should be in both directions. That's how you'll live a great life. Brene Brown has one of my all-time favorite quotes. Boundaries are the point at which you can love the other person and yourself. So if you want to live a great life, you need to set boundaries. The obvious one, work hours, right? Like if you own your own law firm and you stop taking calls Friday at 5 and you don't start again until Monday at 9, you have set a boundary. But it's also important to do that for people that we love and care about. We will love them more, able to show them how we care with boundaries. This might be saying, hey, please don't call me after a certain time. It might be, hey, please don't reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. Set those boundaries. Set the point at which you can love the other person and yourself. And hopefully the other person will honor those boundaries. Because when that comes together, combined with expectations like we talked about earlier, that's how you're going to live a great life. When it comes to a great life, I am telling you, exercise is a component of that. Exercise releases endorphins. If you like Legally Blonde, endorphins make people happy. Happy people don't murder their spouse, right? It's true. And it helps us enjoy life longer, and it makes us physically capable of doing more things in life. So please, 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 if you want to live a great life, it starts with exercise. And you would be amazed at what scientific research is backed when it comes to, we're talking about going for a brisk walk 3 times a week for 30 minutes. And if you want to spend more time with your spouse, do it with them. If you want to spend more time with your kids, go for the walk with them. If you want to get more referrals for your firm, go for the walk with referral sources, right? Like use this multi-impact, use this exercise and help you live a great life, right? Help you be physically healthy and help you spend the time you want and do the things you want to do in the way that will help you live a great life. You ever go to a networking event and there's that one person or maybe multiple people, depending on the event, who just like can't stop talking about work? So please, 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 for the sake of networking, if not the sake of enjoyment, if not the sake of happiness and health, find a hobby. If you don't know what hobby you want to have, you can watch the movie Soul. Anything that causes a soul to get a spark that you have any interest in, try it out. You can talk to people that you like and ask them what hobbies they have and what interests they have. If you want to try to spend more time with people, this is a great way to do it, right? Like help figure out what their hobby is and do it with them. But please, 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 if you want to live a great life, it can't just all be about work. It can't just all be about side hustles. You need a hobby, something you can truly dive into. That's how you'll live a great life. Today, I'm going to talk about food. However, when it comes to using food to fuel living a great life, I have made a lot of mistakes. I want you to consider what your goal is with food, because I enjoy trying new foods. I enjoy trying new restaurants. I enjoy eating with people. So I want to make sure I have those things. But at the same time, I also don't want to die of a heart attack way too young. So I need to balance those things. So for me, food is truly the fuel of a great life, right? Like it fuels my body and it fuels my opportunity to do things and have a life and exist and go around while also being a component of a great life. So that balance, super important. Everybody, it is really important that you find your version of that balance. That's how you live a great life. What's the most valuable resource? It's not money. It's not diamonds. It's time, because time is the one that we can never get back. When you prioritize time, you start really figuring out how to maximize it. And I don't mean this from the standpoint of just like crazy productivity, where if you did 30 newsletters last week, you should do 31 this week. Or if you settled 5 cases, it should be 6, or whatever the thing is. I talk about like truly enjoying your time. That's why I love, like I talked about earlier, writing your obituary, working backwards to figure out the day-to-day steps to get there so that you are maximizing your time. Again, from the standpoint of giving you the best opportunity in what you do now to give you the long-term outcomes that you want, while also enjoying the journey, right? Like you can't get into the same river twice. So enjoy the moment as well as the investment in future you. No is a complete sentence. And so when it comes to living a great life, it's so easy to say more, right? Like I should exercise more, and I should go out with friends more, and I should spend more time with my family. Sometimes we have to say no. And so the more that you think about the concept that no is a complete sentence, if I don't go on this trip, I don't have to do everything associated with it. If I don't take this one speaking engagement, I don't have to get somebody to do the drafts and run through and do the tweaks and the changes and present it and follow up and all this, whatever. The key to a great life is knowing that you can say no and figuring out the best times to say no. Because saying no to this is saying yes to something else, just as much as saying yes to this is saying no to something else. So think about that to help you live a great life. What really is time management? The 2 things that I do towards enjoying this time management from both perspectives. The first one is setting as many things as possible recurring on my calendar. I have a meeting with my team every Monday at 9 a.m. So it's on my calendar, recurring. And then 2, it's asking myself the question, if this was tomorrow, would I still say yes? Because that opportunity in 4 to 6 weeks sounds great. And if you don't do recurring tasks, your calendar looks really full. But as it gets closer, you realize how much more there is to it. So those are the 2 things that I do. I will put things recurring on my calendar. And I also think, if this was tomorrow, would I still say yes to it? Anything that passes those tends to be a hell yeah, tends to be something fun and great, and I enjoy doing it. The things that don't pass tend to be things that I don't miss. So think about that. Time management for living a great life, because I want to make sure that you live a great life as well. Lawyers get a bad rap for being egotistical jerks, and there's an easy reason for that, because many lawyers are egotistical jerks. However, Aristotle has this concept of the golden mean, where any moral value taken to either extreme is a problem. So being the most ridiculous selfish jerk is a problem. But at the same time, being the most selfless monk is also a problem. Because if we never put ourselves first, we show up burned out and ground down, and we can't be our best selves. So when it comes to living a great life, you have to be selfish the right amount. You have to put yourself first the right amount. You have to make sure that you are prioritizing your opportunity for rest and relaxation and focus and learning so that you can show up as the best version of yourself. It's that part in the middle that really makes sense for you. By putting yourself first the right amount of time, and also by investing in others the right amount of time, that's how you're going to live a great life. You know the easiest way to make changes in your life? I mean, I guess probably like you have to admit there's a problem, like any 12-step process. But truly, the actual execution, the easiest way to do that is with habit stacking. If the dentist tells you to floss, because I think the dentist tells all of us to floss, stack it. I brush my teeth twice a day. It's real easy. When I stop brushing my teeth, floss. That is the stack, right? When I wake up in the morning, go for a run, leave the shoes right there, stack on top of getting out of bed to see exercise clothing instead of regular clothing. Like take things you're already doing and stack the next habit on them. That's going to be the easiest way for you to make those changes to add things into your life to help you live a great life through habit stacking. Do you have a mind like water? What I mean is, water has this really cool mentality, right? Where it just flows. As opposed to in our mind never stopping running is very different. We're talking the opposite of that. We want our mind to actually be able to be focused and in flow. How do we do that? It's going to be slightly different for everybody. But most of the time, it's trying to get as many things off of your plate and down to where you need them to be, or reminding you when you need them, so that you can focus on the current moment. You can live in the moment. You can only think about what you are currently doing as you're doing it. That's how you have a mind like water. If you're looking for the steps on how to do this, I've got a whole podcast episode we did. One of the most important things that you can do to live a great life is have that mind like water. Have that ability to truly focus on the moment in front of you as it's happening. That's how you're going to end up living a great life.